Hello, everyone. Today it's a pretty serious subject matter. We're going to be discussing the Epstein files. So if that's something that you need to stay away from, and I think you know if you need a break from it, please just don't watch the video. Just consume any other type of content because there's a lot of people out there right now that are doing, think of it like shift work. They're handling it, then they're passing it off to someone else, then they're passing it off back to them. And I'm telling you, there's coordinated teams doing this. There's lots of independent journalists looking into this. And yeah, it seems like everyone has turned into an independent journalist with this, but you need to be careful about fact checking and things like that. And if you're just reading this for your own information purposes to keep up to date and to see what the elite of the world have done, just this doesn't have to be all consuming for you. And you can lean on journalists for a little bit and take this in small doses because this is a lot to handle. In fact, it's too much to handle for the human mind, in my opinion. And that kind of brings us to the topic I want to discuss, and it's Epstein psychosis. And that's something I've noticed in a few content creators I've followed, and it's something I've noticed in myself. So about, I want to say a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago at this point, when the files first started to drop, from the Epstein Files Transparency Act, I was pretty obsessed, like most people, and sick to my stomach, especially around just some details. And essentially, I consumed this information. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here. I consumed this information too much. It was too much at once, and I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to overload you with information so you don't know what the fuck to make out of it. We can obviously see that they didn't listen to the law when they redacted names that weren't victims, which explicitly goes against the law. The law passed by Congress, both chambers, explicitly stated that they only can withhold victims' names. And they're withholding perpetrators' names. So we know they're willing to break the law. We know this is the Trump administration. They're willing to do really fucking shady shit to dissuade you. But here's my message. Sorry, not time for that yet. Let me finish my account of Epstein psychosis. So essentially, I dove deep into this topic, way too deep. And I kept looking at every source, everything, and it was too much. The details are too disturbing and disgusting. It's just too much. That's the reality of the situation. And so I think actually going a bit crazy from this is somewhat of a normal reaction. Now, with that in mind, I do have other mental health conditions, so that obviously predisposes me to things like psychosis. And I don't know if what I had was a full psychosis, but I felt like I was losing my mind. And so my messages to other people who are out there losing my mind is that what I said kind of at the beginning of the video. Do shifts. Do small shifts if you feel like you have to. If you feel like you can't and it's detrimental to your health, don't, because don't read about it then. Don't read about it. And it's not like you're giving up either. It's not like you're giving up. You're taking a break. You're taking a break so you can come back stronger. That's what it is, because you're no good burnt out. You know, like not that you're no good burnt out. That's not what I mean, but you're not able to look at this with the rational lens that we need to get to in a state of paranoia. And I feel like this is a real thing because I've seen other content creators talk about this. And this, another thing I went through is like seeing a lot of symbolism in things, and like anything in Hollywood, all right away it's satanic and stuff like that. And it took me like multiple days to just relax and think like, okay, let's not make another satanic panic. This was fucking disgusting rich men and women, and that what they were just, that even if there was satanic rituals involved, it doesn't matter. It's not cause for another satanic panic, and also Satan isn't real. That's something to keep in mind. They can worship these things and perform rituals for these deities or whatever they consider them to be, but at the end of the day, one, please remember they are not real beings. Those supernatural entities, just such as Moloch or Baal or whatever, they don't exist. So that's one thing too. They may exist in conversation among these people and in text, but as a part of the material world, they just don't exist. So I'd really recommend you trying to hammer that home. The second is, this is the nature of extreme psychopaths, uh, of various mental disorders overlapping and folding onto each other, and also just the depravity of wealth is another main factor. Just these people are obsessed with the next experience they can have. That's why they're obsessed with all these weird fucking things like transhumanism, like trigger warning, eating fucking babies. This is fucking disgusting. Like, they will do anything to get a thrill in their life, and that see, I already feel that gut reaction. I already feel that reaction. So that's a signal to me I got to get back on topic to this video. But anyway, I just want you to know that I think the Epstein psychosis is somewhat normal. I don't think our brains are equipped to handle this much information at once about this much disturbing shit, and especially that the details around the victims, and then also the fact that they engineered the culture war. It's all very disturbing, and it is basically like some conspiracy theorists' ideas have just come true. So it's disturbing, and I think you gotta give yourself some peace and calm when you're thinking about this. And I think something to watch out for is thinking in more spiritual terms, like, for example, like the term spiritual warfare, talking about souls, stuff like this. Like, I would say maybe it's time to watch your mental health if you start getting into that. No, not maybe, it is. It is time to monitor it. I've been through enough of these things. And you can talk to a doctor, you can talk to friends and family. I think the doctor thing is separate. I think you need to talk to a doctor regardless, just because, or a therapist, just to process these things, because they are so intense. But as far as support from other people, that can go so far. And so you need a community, you need other people that are willing to talk to you about this. It's deep dark stuff. It really is. It's stuff that I couldn't even imagine. I've been following this story of Epstein since 2017. So I don't have all the answers, but I know if you're struggling, that it's time for you to take a break. And just like I said at the beginning of the video, it's like shift work, right? Would you expect a surgeon to be doing their best work 24 hours into a shift? Probably not. Even though that's what the healthcare system for some reason expects of them sometimes. I digress. You would want that surgeon doing surgery on you to have had lots of sleep and rest and be in a sound mind to do that surgery. So you got to take that information and take into account that you need to be taking care of your mental health as much as you can when all this shit is exposed on your social media feed. It's not to say look away or anything like that at all. No, it's saying that it's talking about the importance of breaks and and if you need a longer break than someone else, that's okay, because there's a lot of people that are dedicated to this and it's not going away. So, and two, if you want to be a part of this, but you're finding it's going too deep, take a break, find ways to cope, and then come back. If you feel again like it's not working out, then take another break. And maybe it's just not for you, and maybe there's something else you can help with to make the world a better place, and help the everyman, because these elites are disgusting. that can involve doing things in your community, such as volunteering. That really goes a long ways. Um, so yeah, I saw this morning that it was reported that Trump's name it was from a Democrat who saw the unredacted files. Trump's name was mentioned over 1 million times in the unredacted files. Yeah, the news I think is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So I think that just stresses the importance of this. It's normal to feel weird and strange and anxious and like reality is falling apart. It's okay to feel like that because there's first of all there's options to help you. This is not a permanent state of your mind. You will get help. You'll feel better. I promise that. I promise you that. The second of all is this is legitimately disturbing shit that would disturb the most sound person. And if you don't have a gut reaction to that, like no, never mind that last part. But even if you don't have a gut reaction to that, that honestly might be like you're just depersonalized and your brain just can't handle this shit whatsoever. So that's what I was gonna say. Like, but never mind. Just like yeah. Might be some emotional blunting just because of how extreme the material is. So I know this is rambly, but I'm a rambly person. This is the best I can contribute at this moment, and this is what I want to contribute. So my message is if you're experiencing what I'm calling Epstein psychosis, it's time to take a break. It's time to take a rest. I've recovered from mine. I truly have. I'm disturbed every time I look at it, 100%. Sick to my stomach when I look at this shit. But especially the details. However, I recovered. I recovered from that, and I'm still able to take a peek once in a while. But I also know now when it's my time to step back, and I don't screw around with that because I don't play games with my health. If I know it's time to step back, it's time to step back. And with that said, like if you're feeling any sort of thoughts of harming yourself or others, you need to contact a crisis helpline. Immediately and talk to your doctor and talk to your therapist and maybe talk to a psychiatrist and maybe 911 if you're in immediate danger. This is very triggering stuff. This is the darkest shit in the world, in my opinion. It doesn't really get worse than this. There's very few things that are comparable to the level of atrocity that this is that these files are. And if you're a victim, just I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm so sorry this is so public. To all victims of human trafficking, like, I don't know what to say other than I'm fucking sorry you went through this and that we're on your side and we're gonna get through these files as much as we can. That's all I can say. Like, may and maybe another thing is love is stronger than hate. Uh, you know, we the world, in my opinion, exists because of love, and so love is always more powerful than evil. And even though it seems crazy with all the events going on around the world, I think we will overcome this because there are more good-hearted people than there are bad-hearted people. There are more people that want to do good than there are that want to do bad. It comes down to that. And if you're struggling, it makes sense. With all that said, I'm going to do some more research today on a different part of the news because I don't want to do Epstein stuff today. And um, there's probably a push to do strange things while these things that people wouldn't approve of through law and legislation while these Epstein files are happening because everyone's attention, I mean, kind of rightfully so, is on these files. So I'll be taking a break and looking at other news just so I can recenter myself. Um, yeah, I again, I wish everyone health and healing and well-being and positivity, and that's really all I can say.